Today we're playing Grixis Lutri. I'm currently 2-0 in a league. I was having a lot of fun. I'm like, let's just stop it here. Let's keep going tomorrow. They banned the good companions, Lurrus, Yorion, and Gigantha's not exactly good, but just super free. And so I've been working on some Karuga decks and having some success with Karuga, and I've been wanting to circle back to Lutri because I just had this vision of they just keep printing really good Grixis staples. Nether Goyf isn't super new, but we get, since we played Lutri Pass since pre-Image 3, we get Lutri, so we get Nether Goyf, we get Tamio, we get access to Cecil, and Cecil is kind of super big because now you just get to play 5 really good 1-mana creatures, which gives you a pretty good aggressive density. You get Fear of Missing Out, which is relatively new, Steel Cutter, which is really new, Abhorrent Oculus, which is kind of new, Stock Up, which is pretty new, and 8 cards might not seem like that many. Preordain unbanned, relatively, not that new still, but so it's getting access to 9-ish Grixis staples in the pool, and also to some extent Graveyard Trespasser becoming main deckable is a pretty big deal. It's Kolaghan's command becoming playable again because of Cori-Steel Cutter. It's this is a huge percentage of your deck that's relatively newly viable in this Grixis shell, either via unbans or new cards getting printed since the last time we played it. And of course, what's nice about this is every card in our deck is more or less a modern staple. And when that's the case, when the power level of the cards is there, you get 2 big advantages when you play a Lutri deck. One, obviously, you get a companion that can provide you card advantage, and those are few and far between and very broken. We don't need to go too in depth on how companions are broken in 2025. I think, although sometimes it feels like we have to. But it is genuinely advantage to play cube in modern, to have all 1-ofs. When you play a Lutri deck, your deck is completely miserable to play around. Your opponents can just not predict your plays with any reasonable manner. They cannot guess what's in your hand, and so playing this way, it is a genuine advantage. It is a genuine advantage. And I actually found that the deck filled up really quickly. There's even you could main deck the Subtlety. Emperor of Bones was a card that I wanted to play in the main deck, and was I think Emperor requires a little bit more build around. Vivi was a card I wanted to play the main deck, and I thought it required a little bit more build around. There's a few more removal spells you could play. I thought about playing Murderous Cut, and I decided against it. There's 5 or 6 cards that you could pretty easily make a good argument for. Seasoned Pyromancer. I don't think you can make a great argument for Fable. I considered playing Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then we are kind of at the requirements for Dreadhorde, but I think Dreadhorde is not a card I want to put in my deck without Arena of Glory, and I didn't feel like we were quite there for Arena of Glory. So Croaks is a card I considered. So a lot of cards you can play, and honestly, I'm optimistic with this deck, and I'm interested even maybe in being in kind of actually playing cube and modern in the sense of this card isn't very good in the build, or maybe we don't love the Tarfire, maybe we want another removal spell, maybe we want something over the Fear of Missing Out or the Archmage's Charm or the Murktide Regent or the Spell Pierce. I'm interested in playing cube and spending a little bit of time drafting and tuning this build, because it does feel but one good, and it also feels pretty special too. It's also pretty fun too that now that you have fire magic, I didn't mention this, but now that you have fire magic, you now get you get to play Pyroclasm, Rough Tumble, and fire magic to have 3 Pyroclasms against Boros, which is, I don't know, it's kind of funny. This deck seems kind of so hard to test and tune. I agree. I believe in us. Okay, keeping this on the draw, probably putting back the Murktide. Could maybe put back the Flame of Anor. Put into the Mold of 5. Okay, so in the main deck, we cut the Tarfire for a Dismember. Oh my gosh, editing this is crazy. It's all 1-ofs. Dismember, obviously. Then we cut the Rough Tumble for a Shana's. Okay, we need to hold up Snare for Steel Cutter. I did beat Prowess last night. So I think I'm just going to take the hit and then get a blue-black Surveil land end of turn, untap, Fatal Push the Channeler, hold up the Snare. What do you think of Cutters in the board of Demi-Phoenix decided versus Graveyard Hate? I mean, you don't have any 0-mana artifacts. You're not a very good Steel Cutter deck. I'll say this. Like, the entirety of the time I've been playing Phoenix, people are like, let's juke Graveyard Hate with this 2-mana spell. And I don't know. It's like, to me, I've never really seen this be like a good, like, effective plan. I think we're just going to... We do have an Unearth in our deck. Just going to Graveyard that, I think. I've never seen this be like a good, effective plan. Like, if you dedicate this much to your sideboard cards, then you're kind of lacking on interaction for Boros and Graveyard Hate and Big Mana Hate and Combo Hate. It's like your sideboard slots are really taxed to play 4 Steel Cutters in the sideboard. And then, like, one thing too is, like, Demi Lich is already kind of built in Graveyard Hate or anti-Graveyard Hate. You just cast the dang thing from your hand for 0. Would you ever consider Step Through? I think card just is really, like, slow and inefficient. You want good, impactful plays in your companion decks usually. So they're a Grixis deck. Maybe they're the Grixis Shadow build. So I have no double black or double red. So I think I can just get Island here. Do you think Consult the Star Charts is modern playable? Which card is that? If it's a new one, I don't have any of the cards memorized. Yeah, I think they're playing Dingo's Grixis Shadow build. Oh, the Impulse of the Kicker? Yes, I think that card's good. I think that card may end up playing super duper well. I think at the very least, it does seem like it slots into control builds really well. I don't know if you're going to want to play it in your more tempo-y blue decks. Let me cycle this in response, because the frog can counter the Cling to Dust. I'll just end up flaming this, I think. Wonder if this is the better Grixis deck in Modern, by the way. Slam that instead of going for Lutri. I did just mill my other Surveil land, which kind of stinks. But Graveyard Trespasser is really good. They got the Cling to Dust too. They got 2 cards in their hand. They do probably have a removal spell, but with only 3 cards in their hand after their draw, it's going to be pretty taxing. They play a Channeler. If I get rid of this Channeler, then it does shrink, so they're not going to be able to just block. The Blood Crypt here. Alright, let's go to combat. I want to attack with Cling to Dust still up before I decide if I'm going to hold up Cling or put Lutri into my hand. Probably go for Lutri here. Could go Lutri plus Cling if I don't draw anything next turn. That's what we came here to do anyways, right? Flipadelphia. Best creature in Modern. What does playing Lutri add to the deck that something like Grixis Frog doesn't have? Well, are you watching this game right now where I'm really flooded and I draw a 2 for 1? If you avert your attention to the game that we're watching right now, you may see that we just got a free 2 for 1 that didn't cost us a card. Addition to that, like, there is like an extra layer to Lutri that's kind of harder to understand, is that when your deck is all 1-ofs, your deck is very hard to play against. It is a real thing that having a deck of all 1-ofs makes your deck very difficult to play against. So that is another advantage too. And because there are so many good cards in the modern format, you can build a modern deck in a way that every card is high quality and interesting. And so, but again, avert your attention away from your away from TikTok and see what does adding Lutri add. Watch the game right now. Oh my gosh! Sorry, I forgot that it wasn't damn it! Look away. Go back to TikTok. Go back to TikTok. Sorry, I forgot it's a copy, not a not a copy of the next spell. Go back to TikTok. Sorry about that. 4 copies of Frog are better than a single 2-for-1. I'm just genuinely interested. Yeah. It's you can have that thought. I think I do disagree though. It's like, I mean, it's 2025. Like let's like continue to just like let's not continue to have to teach the lesson over and over and over again about how broken companions are, right? Companions are incredibly broken. It is incredibly broken to have a free 8th card, especially one that generates card advantage. Like I don't know. Like if it was just a difference between 4 frogs and a companion, I'm picking Lutri every single time. But it is, more than that, right? It's like 4 of everything. I don't have Kroxa. I did think about playing the Kroxa. All right, so we can K command back Lutri or Graveyard Trespasser. I probably want to draw step, make them discard too. Yeah. That is also true. Lutri is not a 2-for-1. Lutri is a 2-for-0. I think I'm going for the Graveyard Trespasser probably, plus Cling to Dust. So is this deck definitely better than normal Grixis Frog? I don't know. It's also very complicated to like feel like you could know that for sure. It's not really something you're going to know without a huge sample size. And I'm interested in getting a pretty big sample size and trying to come to an understanding. I'll say that we're playing against Grixis Frog right now, and Lutri was a 2-for-0 even with me misclicking on the casting of it. It's got to be worth something. Okay, best top deck. That's their 3rd iteration. I don't think you want to play Drown. Drown is not the worst option, obviously. I did think about playing it, but I decided against Drown, and I feel kind of good about that choice. It's like, it's just so bad against Flage, and it's like so bad in the early game. It's so bad against Eldrazi. Eldrazi is really popular. All right, so if they block, they go to 2. There are no creatures in graveyards at the moment. I guess I want the K command in the yard because they're going to be at 2. Let's go. Fucking go, dude. Not really any reason to not main phase this. They're just going to be dead on board here. Yeah, it's also bad against Frog, so I'm really not trying to use this deck as an excuse to play fun Grixis cards. I am sincerely trying to build the best version of this deck I can. If we didn't need to do this, we could just return the Trespasser and replay it, but I just want to show my opponent that they're dead, and so we can get on to the next game as quick as we can. Right, go into game 2, up a game in the Grixis Mirror with the better Grixis deck. So we want the Dispute. I think we want the Sudden Edict. I don't think they play Bowmaster. If it's Dingo's build, the creature base is DRC, Sideboard Ragavans, Death Shadow, Cecil, Psychic Frog. I don't know if Dingo added the 4th frog. Was only playing 3 when he won the challenge. So I'm going to cut the Force of Negation. I might cut the Thoughtseize. No reason we can't do both. Win plus sweet Grixis cards. Yeah, I mean, I think we are doing that, but I think I'm going to cut the Dismember. What the Nile Spell? I don't think I want Nile Spell Bomb. Time Binder is kind of interesting versus Cecil Frog. I think it's just too slow against both of those cards, especially on the draw. But again, I'm just saying that my goal here is to build the best deck I can, not to goof around and play Drawn in the Lock as much as I love that card. I probably do have to keep this on the draw. It's hard matchup to mulligan in. I don't know if they would have boarded in Ragavan. Is there genuinely another 3rd color for Lutri that could work, or do you think Grixis is the most competitive combo? I think Grixis is going to be the best, but you can consider other color combos for sure. Red is the deepest, but Jeskai is an option. Is it an option, I guess, but I don't think it's a good option. Do something like Jund. Slowty is also a crazy top deck late. Yeah, that's a good reason to bring it in on the play. I think on the draw it's less of a good reason. Do I have like a favorite archetype? I used to, and I kind of now just mostly enjoy doing new things, no matter what it is. I think this is just kind of what happens when you're a full-time Magic streamer. But the most joy I get from the game these days is innovating and finding something new. What about Temur Lutri? Green is by far the shallowest color for these kind of decks. You can get Tarmogoyf isn't playable. You get like Rumble, Rin and 6, Pick Your Poison, maybe a couple of other cards, but green is like by far the shallowest. Yeah, no, I think just don't put Tarmogoyf in your modern deck in 2025. I wish I had better news for you, but I think you will win more the less you decide to do that. Opponent misses their land drop. Could they have a Bowmaster here? I think with this Oculus and my hand being so grindy, I'm going to make the disciplined laydown of stock up here. If they do have Bowmaster and I draw a fetch land, I can just slam Oculus, so I think that's going to be okay. But just put Cosmoglyph. I do think Cosmoglyph is way better. Like it gets much bigger. It doesn't lose to Graveyard Hate. It's better with Detective's Phoenix. Yeah, unironically, Cosmoglyph better. For better or worse. All right, let's get busy living or get busy dying, I think. Would Punishing Fire be good for Modern? I think I would like it, but there's some people who, have more experience playing with the card and say they think it would be bad for the format. I have played a lot of Punishing Fire with and against in Legacy. I really like the gameplay, but also the kind of gameplay I enjoy isn't always the gameplay everybody enjoys. What's the trophy run from? Years ago, I did a trophy race, and I bought 3 trophies, and it was like an online contest. Who could get the most trophies in a Modern season? And I did win it. We got 76 trophies in one season. And then Ginger got second, I think. No, Menino Ne got second, then Ginger got third. Oh, who was it? It's been so many years now. Or not, like two or 3 years. Ginger, Menino Ne got second and third, and then Tutors got fourth. Well, pretty good against my Oculus in hand. I did give Tutors a little gift too. Why wouldn't they main phase the Spell Bomb? They could hit a land. So there's my second spell for the Steel Cutter. Could hold up Counterspell this turn. I think I'm going to be triggering the Steel Cutter, playing the Tamiyo. Probably cycle the Lrien Revealed to get a 3rd card in the yard. Upkeep Bolt Tamio. So they didn't draw land off the Nile Spellbomb, probably. I might get to double Counterspell on my opponent's turn and trigger the Steel Cutter on my opponent's turn this game. I'm just going to get both basic islands here, I think. Well, actually, let's get the other Surveil land, because we can go Surveil, just hold up double Counterspell, maybe. Well, okay, punished, but probably okay. Okay, we can keep that. Answer to the Channeler, maybe? I don't think they're dead if I double Counterspell. Would they be dead if I could triple Counterspell? They'd be one short. Would it be better to hold Lrien as a draw 3? I don't think this is that kind of game, but it's possible that that's the move. So they've already used 2 bolts, so we don't need to be too worried about getting double bolted out of this game. Anything's possible. I want them to use Spell Snare if they have it, so I'm starting with Counterspell. The rare trigger Steel Cutter on your opponent's turn. I'm going to exile the Counterspell so I keep Delirium, I guess. I think you should have countered the push to be closer to Oculus. Maybe. I feel pretty good about how things have gone so far. I'm going to steal on their upkeep so I have the possibility of making another token. So it's -2 damage now for the possibility of another token if they play a frog or have a Counterspell. And then I get to untap and play the Oculus. I feel like Steel has been our most chosen mode so far in Archmage's Charm. Miss lethal. So I could go Steel then Dispute. I guess that was lethal, huh? Found lethal anyways. Keeping this, probably cycling Lrien Revealed instead of considering turn 1. But using Charm on our turn isn't like 2 free damages. Well, we also got the extra token because we were able to dispute on our opponent's turn. Is what I said when I took the line and is what happened, and now we're in a new match. All right. Grixis Gorios, probably. Discards a Mortuary and a Scalding Tarn. What does the Mortuary mean? Not sure. I think I need to get Steam Vents for my colors there. I'm just going to Thoughtseize Consider this turn. Would be nice to be able to deploy the Goyf. They do have Force of Negation. Well, let's take that one, I guess. Wait, hold on. My opponent didn't discard an Atraxa or a Spin Spara. It means Goros? Yeah, that's what I said. All right. But they didn't discard one of their fatties, which is weird and confusing. So I can go... I think I'm just going to go draw 2 end of turn here. And then I want to be able to like find a land and then go Inquisition plus Graveyard Trespasser after they flashback the looting. Is looting good enough for this deck? Helps you find specific cards into one of deck. I think that, is probably a misunderstanding of what's going on here, right? Where What's nice about this deck is every card is just individually strong. That's how you build a Lutri deck. Every card is individually strong. Trying to dig for specific one-ofs is just not usually a good plan, but you just have discard spells, removal spells, counter spells, creatures. That's the formula, and then you have a lot of redundancy to that. So a card disadvantage filtering spell is really not the kind of thing you're looking for in your Lutri deck. Okay, so they discard both an Atraxa and a Sinspara. Blue card? Not a blue card, but we can go Inquisition plus Graveyard Trespasser. And then, if they could find a Goryo's off of the... If they do find a Goryo's off of the Tainted Indulgence that stinks, they get to ramp 5 times, but that's all they get to do. That is good, but it's not like game winning by itself. And then if they can't find Goryo's, which they're not really very favored to do, then the Trespasser takes over the game. Troll with the 24 months, 2 years. Thank you. Welcome back. Happy anniversary. Do you think mana is too good in Modern and not enough aggro to exploit its weaknesses? Well, aggro is super dominant in Modern. It has been for the last few months between Prowess, Boros, and Domain Zoo. This is like the most aggro rewarding format we've had in a long time. So I don't know. As far as is the mana too good, it's a very philosophical question that is you'll have to answer for yourself. So they discard a Thundering Falls and an Indulgence, and then they find a Psychic Frog, which I have this Bloodchief's Thirst for. So their hand is another copy of Tainted Indulgence, a Consign, and a Mystery card. Is one of the mystery cards now another Force of Negation? Is that what we're supposed to think? I guess I should have surveilled first to see if I was going to find Delirium. Because I really don't want to force back. Although I guess forcing back is fine. Okay, they discard a Sinspara. There's a Fatal Push. Could keep this for another Frog. Or an Emperor of Bones. I guess that's fine. Alright, so they have Tainted Indulgence, Consign, Mystery card. So we can't just snap the Force off on the Indulgence because the Mystery card could be a Goryo's. Yeah, I guess they would cast the Indulgence first. Did I consider Temporal Trespass, or is there too much tension with other graveyard cards? Yeah, I think there's too much tension, and Trespass is the kind of card that I like when I'm playing like Emery, and I'm playing a deck that's really built around it. I'm playing VV. Okay, nice that we kept the Fatal Push, huh? That's when I like to play Temporal Trespass. So we should attack first and give them the option to discard 2 things, and then just Fatal Push the Frog. And then they get the 1 of tilt. I guess they'll cast the Indulgence, though. Do they have 5 different types? They have 7, 3, 0, 2, which is my 3rd grade or kindergarten education isn't failing me. That's only 4 different types. So they counter the Trespasser activation of the Frog. Good play. Again, we want them to just discard their last 2 cards so we can push the Frog, and then they do cast the Indulgence first. They discard the Consign to Memory, and they do take the bait. After all, how can you play around Fatal Push? They discard a Consign. They discard another Consign. Okay, their hand was 3 Consigns. That's funny. Maybe Trespass is good because of the whole Lutri situation. It's pretty slow, though. Alright, got Lethal. We got Force of Negation up. See you in game 2. If you win this match, it's a 5-0. No, we 3-2'd the first league. We started off 3-0, and then we finished 3-2. Now we're 1-0 in this league, and we're up a game in our second match. Okay, let's bring in Nile Spellbomb. Sudden Edict seems pretty nice. Like if they play Frog with wanting to use it as a discard spell, they can't discard it in response. Oh, they can. Right. Wait, can they activate? You can't activate abilities with split second on the stack, right? I'm pretty sure you can't, but for some reason my brain is just confused. The Dispute seems good. Do I want to play Grafdigger's Cage? Grafdigger's Cage stops Goryo's Vengeance. It does not stop Emperor of Bones. Seems worth it. Seems like we have a lot of answer to Emperor of Bones. I think we cut the Lightning Bolt probably. Dismember is better against Emperor and Frog. Or kill better against Frog and also kills Emperor. Same with Heat. Same with Push. Thirst just answer to Frog. I think you'd keep it in. Let's cut probably Kolaghan's Command, FOMO, and Steel Cutter. I don't think I went to Shauna's Tidebinder. Could be okay. The sideboard is almost the most annoying thing about Lutri. Honestly, our sideboard looks really good to me. It filled up like really fast. I honestly don't even know how I would change the sideboard if it wasn't a Lutri sideboard. But I don't know. I feel like our sideboard is good. I don't think you went Ashiok because like the sorcery speed graveyard hate is kind of bad against Goryos with all their instant speed looting. And they also just dice to Frog sometimes. Foam on the board. It's in the main deck, and I have sideboarded it out on the draw against Goryos. Yeah, you could maybe play Ghost Vacuum. We were talking about maybe wanting one more piece of graveyard hate. Ghost Vacuum probably would be the right answer. I'm not a big Surgical fan right now. One kind of weird thing, right, is we've got 2 main deck pieces and 2 sideboard pieces. So like that is adequate. You could play one more though. How's this deck versus Eldrazi? I haven't played the Eldrazi matchup. I think it's probably okay. We've got a good aggressive elements. We do have Break the Ice and Charmal and Consign and Tidebinder in the board, which are all pretty good. They're probably favored overall. I guess that's probably like the main matchup you want to dodge. So we got some mana issues in this hand. Having Force is really good. Having Trespasser is good. This hand's pretty cold to Frog. It's kind of a hard matchup to mulligan in. I'm going to keep. Is one main deck Lutri not worthwhile? No, like most companions, the cards are kind of inefficient and you don't really want to draw them. I don't know if there's ever been an exception to that. I guess I've main decked a Yorion before, and like as a Court of Calling target. But like all of the even the card advantage companions, Karuga, Yorion, Luris, like sometimes you would main deck Luris and like unearth like experimental builds that weren't as good. But yeah, just for the most part, you want to, when the game is going long, you grab your card advantage engine, and all of a sudden you're just way ahead in a really unfair way. So if they're graveyarding this Frog, they either already have a Frog or they have a need for another land. The answer was another Frog. We have our own Frog here, funny enough. You never main deck Luris. I have main decked Luris, but you know, Luris being the best companion ever can be the exception to the rule, I guess. Alright, so they got 6 cards, I got 6 cards. Wait, how do we have the same amount of the cards if I was on the draw and didn't mulligan? Did I mulligan? We both kept 7. I have 6 cards in my hand. They have 6 cards in their hand. Oh, they've drawn their second card already because they're on the play for the turn 3. I see. I'm down to play this game. Okay, so they discard a Theater. Let's discard a Channeler. They discard a Flame of Anor. I'll discard an Iteration. Maybe discard Nethergoyf is better there. I'm just down to discard my whole hand if that's what we're doing. Okay, discarded Emperor. I discard another Nethergoyf. They have 3 cards. I got 3 cards. Their last cards. Yeah, if their last card is push, it is what it is. Sometimes you can't have any fear in your heart. Damn. Alright, so if we draw a land, we get to stock up into removal spell, we're okay. Alright. Save me, stock up. Dude, imagine copying stock up with Lutri. Okay, well, Dismember usually a fine answer to the frog. Not this game. We have Terminate, we have Sudden Edict, we have Bloodchief's Thirst, we have Fatal Push. It's really good. I guess I'm playing this and stopping them from doing stuff with the Jace, but they do get the loot, which is pretty valuable too. So I'm gonna take another big hit from the frog. The good news is I do have an answer to the frog, and I can play all the cards in my hand next turn. I have Goyf in the yard, I have Lutri, but we're behind, I think, still, but that might change. Is it ever right to take fetch plus surveil? Yeah, maybe the fetch land was better. Oh, so they have Emperor of Bones, which can get back my Trespasser or my Goyf. I draw the Sudden Edict, but my opponent rudely has played another creature. Funny enough, if I had like just let them flip the Jace, the Edict would be good. Just a little too deep in the deck. Have game 3 on the play if this goes poorly, though. They didn't discard a fatty to the Jace. Yeah, Emperor was one of the cards I was thinking about. I think I ended up playing Murktide over it, which I think it's probably a good thing to stick with. Like Emperor's just like Emperor Vivi or 2 cards I almost played, but I decided to just go with the cards that are just individually stronger with like less deck building restrictions. They discard Strategic Betrayal, a card that would be great here, so can't love that. Do they have a land? They don't have the land. They target the frog instead of the Goyf? I don't know if that's right. No, I don't want changes Java. I'm surprised to say the teachings is good. I mean, that card sucks. It's really slow and inefficient. That's not how you build a Lutri deck. Okay, hold on. Okay, so if I make a 5/6 Goyf, I don't know if that's possible, but if I do, that can block the Emperor. The Emperor can shrink it down to 4/5. I can still block the Emperor, and then they could hit me for 4 with the frog, which I don't die to. Maybe they're still leaving the Tamiyo back to block the frog. I think I would need to do that. Hear me out, Gage on Diana. That card also sucks. So again, I am very serious about trying to build a competitive Lutri deck. I do think it's possible in Modern. I think it's potentially viable in Modern. This is something I believe we can do, and part of that is resisting the urge to play the shitty Grixis cards that never make the cut in any deck. You know what I mean? It's like look at every card in our deck. Every card in our deck is a Modern staple. You don't need to play a tap Waterlogged Teachings that's slow and clunky. You don't need to play Giada, which is like is always been like one of the worst options you could possibly play in a Grixis deck. Resist the urge to play the bad cards, because I seriously believe Lutri is a competitive strategy, and a big part of the problem is the urge to goof off. Okay, so Jace is flipped. So my Sudden Edict can answer this. So maybe they go like Fatal Push my Goyf. They don't have a land, hopefully. Might be okay. This would be a cool game to win. Charm is now Modern stable. Charm has honestly been great today. I think it's kind of underplayed. Like Blue Black Frog should almost definitely just play Charm over all the other stupid 3-drops they like to play. Wait, they Fatal Push from hand? And they plus the Tamiyo. Or plus on Tamiyo. They're going for the ultimate? At some point, you consider build with 4 Sagas. Not recently, but I have in the past. Okay, so they exiled my Goyf. So let's go sudden. I guess we attack first. Then we hold up Snare / Clue token. The thing is, like, Urza Saga is a card you want 4 ofs in your deck. You want 4 Mox Opals. Are you built around Urza? Are you built around Steel Cutter, Tamio, Imri? All of these cards want to be 4 ofs so badly. But I have thought about it. Okay, so they buy back a Fatal Push. This game has been great. So if I crack my Clue, I draw a card. I can put Lutri into my hand if I just draw a land. They have more removal spells in their hand here. I have Delirium. Is it better to Lutri and Clue? Or I guess this is just more mana efficient. Let's get the Lutri. Draw Preordain. All right, somehow we're ahead. Somehow we're ahead. We got the Clue token, we got the Lutri, same amount of lands, and they have their draw step. And they have no fatty in the graveyard, but they could Goryo's a Jace if they drew a Goryo, so it's not like that card's dead. They drew something. Okay, well, called shot, I guess. If they mill... Okay, they discarded Tamio. They could Goryo's the Tamio, but I guess they couldn't flip it. They could just get a Clue token. So they plus the Jace. Classic line. So let's go snap Bloodchief's Thirst the Jace. And we're back to being ahead. Great game. Yeah, I agree there are reasons to think about Lutri in a Saga build. Obviously, you get 4 Sagas, and like you can tutor the 1-ofs. I have sat down to try to build it, and it didn't get very far. This is my only land. All right, so did I board out the Unearth? I did not board out the Unearth. I did board out the K command. Let's leave the Trespasser in the yard. Let's exile Channeler. Oh, wait, sorry, I do have 2 lands. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Bloodchief's Thirst is a little bit underplayed. Like killing a Johnny is a huge deal. Okay, I guess we put the Murktide here. we might flip it. Won that game. That was a cool game. I think I keep this with 3 looks at land number 2. Any advice for playing Surgical Extraction against mid-range and mill? Only keep it in if they have Flage, Surgical to Flage if they do, and board them out if they... board them out if they don't have Flage or Emrakul. Alright, we're 2-0. My opponent's casting a Gilded Goose, so they're probably Sam combo. I believe. Alright, against Sam combo, I think I'm going to hold up the Snare instead of using the Thirst. Also, maybe getting another Surveil could be good. Planisphere is playable in Modern. We've trophied with it. But for Planisphere, you really want to be playing Mox Opal. You really want to be playing Mishra's Bauble, like 4 Mishra's Bauble. So it's just not the kind of card that is good without that stuff. Steel Cutter is high enough quality. I think that it is good even without that stuff. Could Unearth Fear of Missing Out, maybe? I think I'm just going to Graveyard. Could be fine. Interesting. So a non-blue land is a little bit weird here because I want to go Murktide with Snare up. I think I can go Thirst the Goose and just slam a Murktide, though. 7/7. Ufta, 49 months, 49 for 49 unique cards main board. Hell yeah. Is it actually 49? Probably is. So we want to be able to counterspell a Chord of Calling, so let's not tap out for stock up. Checked, hell yeah. So I could counterspell. I think I counterspell first so I can Logic Knot to grow the Murktide maybe. How many times have we used Lutri? 3 or 4, I think. Maybe 5. We did last match. Or I guess we put it into our hand and end up winning with our top decks. We have cast Lutri a few times. Lutri's good. Okay, another Chord of Calling. Yeah, let's just go ahead and pitch the stock up here. Really tempo in here. Could counter this, obviously, but I think I'm okay with just letting them get the chump block off. I don't want to lose them just having Sam, Viserys, Sierra as the last 2 cards. Sephiroth. We also have plenty of removal. We could just top deck, kill the goose, and win. Cecil and Frog are the main reasons this Grixis not is it. Do they consider a blue revision? We have tons of black cards in the deck. Dismember, Unearth, Thoughtseize, Netherwave, Inquisition, Push, Cling, Cecil, Thirst, Bowmaster, Trespasser, Frog, Terminate, Kolaghan's Command. Like we have more black cards than red by like a lot. There's not the same density of card quality in just blue red or in other colors. All right, so let's bring in the Fire Magic, the Pyroclasm, the Grafdigger's Cage. Now Spellbomb's not super good at snagging Cat. Tidebinder's probably pretty good. Okay, I think that's probably it. Could maybe play the Subtlety. Let's see. So I think I want to cut the Unearth. I think I want to cut the FOMO. I want to keep in the Steel Cutter. The Trample's pretty good. Force was great that game. Could cut the Trespasser. Can cut the Ragavan. Pierce good, Snare good, Cecil good, Netherglyph good, Ragavan bad, Channeler good. Sideboarding is so fun with this deck too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna not play the Subtlety over any of these cards. Yeah, Ashiok might be good. I think on the play, let's bring in Ashiok. On the draw, I think it's a little bit clunky. Gets attacked down, but I think on the play, I think it's good. I have not seen this card. It warps for red or blue. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, make a 1/1 flying artifact. So you can go cast this for 1 and then just go. And then cast it later. Seems good. Maybe. Definitely like has enough busted starts that you want to really consider that card. Yeah, gonna keep this on the draw against Sam combo. In my opinion, Ashiok's better than Charm. I don't know. Charm is very. I think his Charm is great in this matchup. I think Ashiok might be better than Stock Up. For me, like in these matchups, Ashiok is just always so play draw. Yeah, it could be right. So there's a Birthing Ritual. Grafdigger's Cage does not stop Birthing Ritual. I think we're just surveilling though. Thinking Ashiok's better than Cutter. I think Cutter is really good because of the trample. I think like these boards can get really gummed up. You gonna steal a goose? Give me just removal for onboard creatures. Like sometimes like stealing a seer stops them from comboing. Am I sure it doesn't stop ritual? Okay. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can enter the battlefield. Oh, I thought I guess I'm not sure, and my opponent also wasn't sure. But I thought it stopped a search clause for some reason, but it doesn't. All right, let me see if my top card's a land. It is a land, so let's go ahead and draw it. Do I want to hold up Dismember? I think that's pretty painful. Sorry, I thought you just couldn't search your library for a land to put it. Obviously, this is nice. That it does stop it. Great. So probably want a Pyroclasm before this gets too big, right? Can just go Pyroclasm into Murktide here. I think we just get basic island. I'm gonna exile the Cling to Dust. Can this run the Delirium Demonic Tutor? It wouldn't be good in this deck, even if it was really consistent. This deck, again, it's important for me to keep going over this, so I'm glad it keeps getting asked. But how you build a Lutri deck is you put a bunch of spells in your deck that are individually strong and don't require a lot of synergy. And then, you want to have a good amount of instants and sorceries to copy with Lutri, and then you have a solid mid-range deck that can outgrind your opponents, interact with your opponents, and have inevitability in the late game, while also being very difficult to play around because all of your decks are one-of. That's what's good about a Lutri deck. Lutri does not want to play tutors that are slow and unimpactful unless somehow you're like a combo deck, like a Tainted Indulgence deck, or like or a Tainted Pact, which doesn't exist in Modern. So like unless you have some weird combo build. Oh, I don't have double red the bolt snap bolts, but I can just bolt and win. That's the only reason why you'd want to play a tutors like that. Okay, so we are now 6-2 overall with Lutri. Let's get our second trophy prediction. We did go 3-0 and a 3-2 last time, but we haven't not dropped a game this league. It says Living End again. The rematch. You could play Invert Polarity. I don't think that card's great. I think it's like it can be good in some metas. I don't think this is the worst meta for it. Tell me which 3-drop you'd cut for it, and I'll get back to you. Ooh, oopsie. It would be really nice if they just don't have a hand that fills up the graveyard that aggressively, and we get to like contain them a bit with the Graveyard Trespasser. Seems like they are maybe banned to Living End instead of the Overlord version. The Overlords were a big reason why we lost last round, just impending it, and then the threat is so scary. Don't love losing my other Surveil land because I wanted to be able to go like Consider and Surveil, but what can you do? Hard for them to play around Spell Pierce. I mean, obviously, always hard for them to play around anything. They cycle a Curator of Mysteries. They're playing Mistrise Village. Interesting that Living End has been so popular lately. I think in its current form, it's a pretty healthy deck for the metagame. Do I attack with the Goyf and give them something else for the Living End? The 2/2 doesn't matter that much, especially if I'm going to follow up with Oculus. It does matter if I get Subtletied. I think I'm going to wait a turn. Because if I get to untap, then I can like bolt my own Graveyard Trespasser. If they just have Subtlety at the second Living End, we're going to lose this one, but that's okay. Just wait one turn on the attack. So they Surveil. Hopefully nothing gigantic into the yard, into a Living End. There's a Generous End. Oculus might still be able to stabilize. They just main phase bounce Goyf, which is good news, I think. Let me start with a Consider. Okay, Graveyard that. So I could put Lutri into my hand, but I think being able to bolt my own Graveyard Trespasser... I think just being able to go push my own Goyf and then bolt my Trespasser in response to a Living End is going to be what I want to do here. Although maybe it's better to push the curator than it is to push my own Goyf. We'll reassess if Oblivion does happen. Yeah, I could maybe also just bolt the wind color even. Do I want to Island Cycle? I don't think so. I think there's a good chance I'm just... yeah, I mean, I guess I'm probably not hard casting it. Alright, well this is... it's actually lethal if I just cycle this without doing anything else. Maybe I should just... maybe they would be more comfortable going to 1 instead of doing something here. Alright, Graveyard Trespasser, best creature in Modern. We did add an extra sideboard card for the Living End matchup after losing into it in the last league. This Tishana's Tidebinder. Not amazing, but just one extra card. So we're bringing in these 5. Cage does not stop Living End, as I like to always say when I play against Living End. And you still get a question or two. Let's bring in... or take out the Unearth. We want our creatures in the yard. Cut the Bolt. Push might be better than I think it is. I want to cut the Dismember. I want to cut the Kolaghan's Command. Flame is... I don't think Flame's okay. You just hold up mana and then cast it. Sometimes it kills a big creature. Oh, sorry. We went to Ashiok too. I did board it in last time. FOMO... I wonder if like FOMO discarding like Oculus is good. It's kind of narrow. Probably just can't really tap out for this. So I want to keep in the heat, so I can cut. So my options here is like, as the last card I think is Fatal Push, Fear of Missing Out. You should cut Push. I don't think so, because like them hardcasting Endurance, hardcast Subtlety, hardcast Curator, all these this happens really often in these grindy matchups. So having like a Bolt and a Push ends up usually being like one of each is about what I usually do in non-Lutri decks. So I think I'm keeping these in. White no Cage, yeah, Cage, yeah, I see. Kappa. I think I'd be tempted to have a Spellbomb main board. I think you'd play main deck Emperor of Bones over Spellbomb if you wanted another Graveyard Hate piece. But Graveyard decks do seem to be really popular right now. Bolt goes face. That's way less relevant than killing Endurance and Curator, in my opinion. I promise you pushes, like the first push is usually pretty solid against Living End. Like these games are about the hardcast creatures so much. If Lutri is good and you like it, can't you also play one main board? I think this is a little bit of a misunderstanding about companions. This is not the first time it's been asked today either. And it's not a bad question either. I guess I get Stevens. But the thing is with companions, you wouldn't like main deck a Yorion in your Yorion decks. You don't main deck Karuga in your Karuga decks. What's nice is these cards are slightly inefficient. Like they're intentionally lower quality modern cards than what you would normally want to put in your deck. But because they're free, you just wait until the game goes long. You just wait until the game goes long, and you grab it when you're top decking, and you just have a free like 2 for 0 that is gonna outgrind your opponents because they didn't have it. That's the dynamic with Luris. That's the dynamic with Yorion. Karuga draws more. Yorion draws more. Luris sometimes draws more. All we have left is Lutri, but that's still true to this day. Maybe we should Thoughtseize here, but I think we're going to hold up the Counterspell. The Mistrazed Village is kind of scary. Why keep in Subtlety? Subtlety is great against Living End. Subtlety counters their Endurances. It counters their Living Ends on the crucial combo turns. If you should have as many Subtleties as you possibly can against Living End. If you have 4, you should play 4 against them. It is one of the best cards against them. It's so like Living End gamers thrive on the fact that in a huge chunk of the matchups, the way they win is just casting these 3 and 4 drops. They just hard cast the bad boys. It is a huge percentage of their wins. So I think I actually Charm end of turn here. It's a little bit weird, but my opponent's going to wait until they have Mistrazed Village going. So I want I want to be more mana efficient than Thoughtseize do nothing, and I also want to kind of have them do nothing this turn too. Good hate. Counterable Taff. Well, this turn it's counterable. Although them having dispute stocks. So hopefully they just have one Cascader. Or we're going to game 3 soon. They have 2 Cascaders. And double Generosence. So let's go to game 3. GG Mistrise Village. I don't like how Sunny lines up in combat versus a nuclear threat. Seems like in this exact case, cutting a kill spell over it is awkward. I am the furthest player to a Grixis player, so probably plays better than looks. I mean, I think if you didn't watch like a good example would be like my Karuga match against Living End and like the challenges that we've been playing recently. It's like it's unbelievable how good Subtlety ends up playing against Living End. It's less about how it lines up in combat. That's not as important as like they spend 4 mana, you spend 4 mana, you get a 3/3, or they spend 4 mana, you spend 0 mana, they've wasted their turn. Like that's what's important about it. It's not about your 3/3 not blocking very well. That's just not really that important. All right, let's flip to Fairy here. Very aggro draw we've got here. Casting the Bowmaster could be a little weird, because we might not have Archmage's Charm up next turn. They Graveyard Teferi, so close to greatness with the Ragavan here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and Surveil. Get blue-black, I think. Keeping that. So we're down to 15 for the Cecil. We hit an Ardent Plea. Probably not casting that. I think I Iteration try to hit land to hold up Pierce plus Bowmaster. So do I want another land or do I want the Ashiok? So if I Bowmaster them, they're down to 12. Yeah, I just have them on a 2-turn clock with 2 counterspells in hand. Although I guess I could just go like, yeah, I can go Archmage's Charm if they Living End into Ashiok with Spell Pierce up. So I guess actually the Mire's just gonna be better. So hand, bottom, exile. Should be fine to do this. Does stop me from going Charm this turn. Oh, right, this doesn't draw a card. Damn it, sorry, I thought it did. Still, we get to go Spell Pierce this turn into Archmage's Charm, maybe. So they don't cast a Living End this turn. They don't have Endurance mana up. We draw a Nile Spellbomb, which I can go Spellbomb and Spell Pierce Charm. I keep thinking, what about Grief? Grief was banned months ago. I think Grief was banned like a year ago, which I guess is technically months. Okay, I flipped it to Fairy. I don't think I cast it. If I cast this to Fairy, my opponent has Force, and then they have Dispute, Living End, I lose. Right? I guess I could. I think I don't. It's just having 2 pieces of permission up on their turn is too insane, I think. How do you lose if you hold everything up? Yeah, that's kind of the question you got to ask yourself. And I know how I lose if I cast a fairy. I don't know how I lose if I hold everything up. Maybe we find out, but I don't know the answer to the question. How do you lose if you just hold everything up? So I think we're 4-0. Okay, we are 6-2 on the day. No, 7-2 on the day. Let's mulligan this. How many times do you actually cast Lutri? Like 5 or 6. Maybe not that many. Okay, they've switched to Boros. On the draw, on a mulligan against Boros. Isn't it worth playing another Lutri in the main deck? Which 3-mana spell is Lutri more powerful than in our main deck? And if you can find one, the answer is yes. If you can't find one, the answer is no. Don't blood moon me, please. Well, I got my wish. I should have wished for something else. So if I block here, I do get to flip the Cecil now, right? Go to 11 or 9. 11 then down to 9 after the trigger. Did I also stop Kitty's Blessing? 7, 8, 9. I guess they would have been one short anyways. So I'm drawing a land, so I have to go, because they have the Voice of Victory, I have to main phase. Snap Bolts. The Guide of Souls. Okay, 3 cards in their hand. Second Ocelot Pride. Fuck. Okay, well, maybe we should have left the Cecil back, huh? So I block here. I get to make roughly infinity tokens. It's game 1. I don't have any of my Pyroclasms. Yeah, if I lift the Cecil back, I have Snapcaster in play, Flame of Anor. They do get to still make a lot of tokens, though. Alright, Pyroclasm, Pyromagic, Nile Spellbomb in. I did have the Rough Tumble and ended up cutting it. What did we cut it for? Cut it for the Tidebinder, which we did board in once and didn't draw. So this is 3 answers to Flage. I think I probably want the Grafdigger's Cage, and then although it's a bit awkward because Unearth is good against them. Maybe that's a good enough reason not to. Tidebinder could be okay. I don't think Tidebinder is good against Boros. I think it's just too slow, probably. I agree that it could be okay. I think I'm going to cut the Dismember. I'm going to cut the Force of Negation. Maybe, I don't know about the Pierce. It's probably okay. Some stuff like Johnny Guy Party. Yeah, I just don't like when, what Tidebinder stops are all 1 and 2 mana stuff. And then, it gets turned back on if they just have their 1 mana removal spell. I think I'm keeping in both discard spells. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I know you're just kind of thinking out loud. I have a local Lutri gamer who sideboards 4 consigns and just undeclares Lutri. I think it's better to, instead of doing that, Just play a Charm All in to break the ice, and then you still get your Lutri, and you can like copy break the ice sometimes. Okay, opponent's on the Molten 6. So here we look at our top card, see if it's a land, and then if it is. No 1-drop. So I do want to be able to Logic Knot a Bombardment this turn. So they deploy the 1-drops this turn. Alright, let's clean up the 1-drops so we can play Goyf with Logic Knot up. I bet I'm going to draw Fire Magic. So they got 4 spells in their hand. Oh my gosh, I meant to cycle the Cling. So I would have rather tapped the Steam Vents for this, obviously. And I would have drawn the Bowmaster, had Bowmaster up. So a little bit of a misstep there, unfortunately. Just clicked the wrong card. Keep it going. Yeah, then I could have Bowmastered this end of turn instead of main phase. That's okay, we're still pretty ahead. Let's just try to play the best we can. We'll probably cycle the Spell Bomb end of turn. Guess we can get Lutri, huh? Could have done a better job playing around that, I guess. Try to Lutri a Lightning Bolt. I think I attack with everything. They probably want to chump the Goyf, and so yeah, I mean maybe this makes Seasoned Pyromancer too good. Okay, Static Prison, 3 life points. Now I'm glad I made the attack to. Come on. Lutri, baby. You can play Molten Collapse. That's obviously fine. Alright, so let's try to get an island and a swamp and play this game, probably. Maybe I want to play Force on the draw. I think that's probably fine. Anything that I really want to cut? Maybe the Thoughtseize on the draw. Can be kind of a tough sell. Could have the Ragavan in because of the Blood Moon too. Kind of narrow. I think all of our opening hands so far in this matchup have been 1-landers. Don't think I can talk myself into keeping this one. Let's go to 6. Can keep this. Oculus is really good against them. Let's put back the push. Stock up Soul in the draw. Yeah, these games go pretty long though. I think just in general I like the card in the matchup. Not a bad point though. Opponent kept 7 again. No 2-drop. Alright, let's go basic island into FOMO, discard Thirst. If they kill it, then we're just that much closer to Oculus. And then, maybe they Blood Moon me next turn, and I'll have Island in play. Thraven Charm, I mean, they're getting Plains end of turn, so feels like they have Blood Moon. They also, they didn't play a 2-drop, but I guess they had this. We might get to Lutri this Bolt twice. Discarding 1 mana removal versus Boros was a choice I probably would have made. Well, it would have been nice if you told me what you would have done instead. Okay, discard a Flage, which stinks. So I can try to snap heat the flip. Do I want to hold that up and play around Arena of Glory, or no? I think let's play around Arena of Glory. Maybe we can like surveil if they... Or I guess we probably just get to kill this anyway. Yeah, like if they play Moon, then I can't cast the Bloodchief's Thirst, and I feel like playing around Moon here makes a lot of sense with how they didn't play a 2-drop and kept a 7-card hand. It's a little annoying. Yeah, I think we need to slam the Oculus. Gonna not play around Blood Moon. Need the extra card in the yard, I think. Maybe need is not right, but certainly want. Now we can play around Blood Moon, and we can play a Goyf. We can leave Unholy Heat, and we can leave on the yard. I think I like push over FOMO. This ended up working out, I think, pretty well. Because I really just wanted to play around Blood Moon on the draw, but I appreciate you coming back and telling me what you would have done. All right, so they got 2 cards in their hand. They're both spells. Let's make a Channeler over a Bowmaster, I think. They play into Johnny, which is pretty good. Would be a pretty good time to find the Pyroclasm or the Fire Magic, huh? And they kill my Oculus. They can't attack and jump. I can't flip, and I guess I have to main phase snap heat something. Probably needs to be the Guide of Souls. Not feeling good. Super cold to a land. I don't have Snare up because of the Voice of Victory. And then they get the Land for Flage. Why do we keep heat over both? Because we want Delirium so we can snap heat the Flage. We're about to surveil off the Oculus, although we found 2 creatures. I think we're dead. Unless we may... I mean, I don't even think Unearth on the Oculus gets there. So close. Tough to mulligan. Twice in this matchup, of course. Pyroclasm comes a single turn too late, huh? Maybe 2 turns too late? Yeah, good league. You know, we're still 7-3 with Lutri. That's not anything to write home about. Let's run it back. Chromas, think we're the 33. Let's go.